All right, today we're talking about something pretty revolutionary, especially if you have solar panels. It's called a virtual energy network. Now, this is a community-powered idea that could totally flip the script on how we think about the energy we generate right from our own homes.
So, if you've got solar panels, you know the feeling, right? The sun's out, your system is cranking, it's great. But, on those super sunny days, you're making way more electricity than you can actually use. So the question is, what happens to all that extra power? And, maybe more to the point, what are you actually getting paid for it?
And this is where it gets, well, kind of frustrating for a lot of people. Check this out. You sell your amazing, clean energy back to the grid for what's called a feed-in tariff. And sometimes it's as low as 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour. But then later that night when the sun's down, you have to buy electricity back for around 29 cents. I mean, that gap is just massive. It really feels like you're on the losing end of that deal, doesn't it?
So that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? You've made this big investment to generate clean power, but you're getting pennies on the dollar for what you don't use and then paying a premium to buy it back. You just know there's got to be a better way.
Well, guess what? There is. And that's exactly where this idea of a virtual energy network, or VEN for short, comes into play. It's a whole new way of thinking that puts the power, and I mean that literally, back into the hands of the community.
Okay, so what exactly is a VEN? At its core, it's basically a community sharing arrangement. Instead of selling all your extra solar power back to a big energy company for peanuts, you get to share it directly with other people in your network. We're talking neighbors, maybe a local shop, or, as we'll see, even yourself.
Yeah, here's a great way to wrap your head around it. Think of it like an Airbnb for your solar power. You've got this resource you're not using, that extra electricity, and the VIN is the platform that lets you rent it out to someone who needs it. And the best part? You get to set the terms. It's such a simple way to understand a really powerful concept.
Okay, so how does this all work in the real world? It might sound a bit complex, but honestly, it's surprisingly simple. Let's break down how it actually happens.
It really just comes down to 3 basic steps. First, you and the person you're sharing with, the buyer, just need to be with the same energy retailer that's set up for the VEN. They handle all the tricky stuff in the background. Then, and this is the really cool part, you just hop on a website, pick who you want to share your power with, and you set your own price. You're in the driver's seat.
Now let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting. Looking at one provider, Energy Locals, as an example, yeah, there's a monthly fee to be part of the network. But look at your sell price. Instead of that measly 1.5 cents the grid might give you, you can set your price anywhere from 0 up to 12 cents per kilowatt hour. That's potentially 8 times more. You're finally getting what your clean energy is actually worth.
Okay, so getting a better price for your power is huge, but that's not even the whole story. This is where we get into some of the really cool parts of a VEN. It's about more than just money. It's about community, being smart with your energy, and some pretty clever tricks.
This is such a great example of the community feel. Imagine you're sharing your extra power with, say, the local coffee shop. The next time you walk in for a latte, you can literally think to yourself, hey, my house is helping power this place. It's that awesome feeling of knowing you're putting your energy right back into your own neighborhood.
Now, this is a total game changer for some people. Let's say you have 2 places, maybe a beach house with solar panels and an apartment in the city. With a VEN, you can share power with yourself. You can basically beam that free solar energy from your beach house right over to your apartment. You're just paying the network cost to move it. How amazing is that? Okay, but what if you want to take it to the next level? You add a battery into the mix. Now you can soak up all that sun at your beach house during the day, store it in your battery, and then use that power at your apartment at night right during those super expensive peak hours. And this is the number you get to avoid, that peak rate, that 29 cents per kilowatt hour. You're not paying it anymore because you're using your own power. It is, without a doubt, the best way to get the absolute most out of your solar and battery setup.
So let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture here, because this is about more than just saving money or neat tech tricks. A VN has some really important implications for our communities and the entire energy grid.
So when you add it all up, the benefits are pretty amazing. You're supporting your local community directly. You're getting way better value for your solar panels. You can even power a second home with your own clean energy. And from a bigger perspective, you're taking pressure off the local grid. All of this works together toward one incredible goal, helping to create a zero-carbon town. And look, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea. It's actually happening.
For example, the Flinders Zero Carbon Community is backing a research project with Deakin University to see just how valuable these VNs can be in the real world. So this is a model that's being actively tested and developed to build a cleaner future.
And that really leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. What if enough of us in a community got together, generating, storing, and sharing our own energy? Could our neighborhoods, could they basically become their own power plants? That's the kind of future a virtual energy network opens up. Pretty incredible, right?